Well, hello everyone and welcome to our final fall season preview. Teams are just about ready to get going here in our first ever NCAA Division II season. We're here to make it yours and making it theirs for head coach Bryan Wilkins and cross country. Folks, these guys have two events close by that you should get out to. We'll talk about those in a minute. But first, Coach, let's talk a little bit. I know it's not cross country, but you're in charge of the running sports here at Vanguard between you and Coach Johnny. Just reflect a little bit about the end of May where you got one last NAI national title.
Yeah, the one big highlight for us this last NAI go-around was our women's 4x4 at Outdoor Nationals in Indiana, which you got to be a part of.
Very fun.
And seeing our women cap things off with a national title. In that relay, we had never won a relay at a national championship ever before, and we know that that was the last event that took place for Vanguard's NAI career, and we were just so proud of our ladies for finishing things off that way. It was a really, really exciting day.
You could really not ask for anything better.
Nope. Perfect ending to a long chapter of NAI, but we're excited to get things rolling in D2.
Now, reflect a little bit, because you are one of the longest tenured coaches here at Vanguard, over 30 years of experience. You've now seen this school go from Southern California College to Vanguard University, from NAI to now Division II. Talk a little bit about the history you've seen and some of the experiences you'll hold on to over all those years.
Yeah, one thing that I'm excited about is a lot of the schools that are a part of the Pac-West Conference were NAI schools when I first started coaching, and we had incredible camaraderie with Fresno Pacific and Westmont and Concordia and Point Loma and Biola, and one by one we saw those schools trickle out of the NAI and go D2 and join the Pac-West Conference. And it's exciting for me to know that we're rejoining forces with a lot of those original teams that I spent so much time with in my early years of coaching, and that's one thing I'm really excited about, to rekindle those rivalries and relationships. And there has been so much change through the years. We started really small back in our early days with our program. It was just 5 women running cross country my very first year. There was no men's team, there was no track. But through the course of time, with effort and support from the athletic administration, we built a program that is what it is today, and largely to do with all the support we've had from athletics and from Vanguard at the highest levels. And so it's been fun to watch just the migration over time. But one thing I can say has been a constant all the way through is the type of school that Vanguard is. A Christ-centered school that is all about relationship and developing character. Those things have always been there from the beginning, and I love it that we are still that same school, even though there's been so much change over time and the campus has grown and we got a lot of new beautiful buildings on campus, but that central theme is what has kept me here for 36 years. And there's been opportunities to coach elsewhere, but for me it's like, no, this is home, this is the environment, this is the place I have always wanted to be, and I feel so grateful and blessed to be able to be here, and I hope to finish my coaching years here at Vanguard.
30 more.
Yeah, maybe 30 more years.
But folks, this guy is a vault of history. If you want to know anything about Vanguard, sometimes, if not only the cross-country track and field programs, talk to this guy. He's got it all somehow stored up in there. It's fantastic. But now to the future, after a little bit of reflecting on the past, and a program that you have built up, and it had a good end last year at the GSAC Championships. You ended up qualifying 2 individuals for the NAI National Championships, 1 female, 1 male, Kate Bransky, Evan Hernandez. Right. Reflect a little bit about last season.
Yeah, I felt like we finished strong. We accomplished nearly everything that we had set out to accomplish. We would have loved to have seen a GSAC title in cross, but we came close, both teams finishing second. I was very proud of that. We did get that GSAC team title in track with our women, winning 3 in a row there, so that was a huge highlight. But yeah, I was very proud of our cross athletes last year and how they performed. And we finished strong. And one of the things we wanted to leave the NAI not just a high note with our performance at conference, but the legacy we wanted to leave was a team that will always be known as a team that was very Christ-centered and was very relational in terms of how we treated one another, but also how we related to the teams in the conference. And I feel like we ended very, very well. And now, the hope and the expectation as we enter Pac West is to continue to be that kind of school and portray, the values that are at our core.
Reflect a little on the national championships, one last year up in Washington.
Yeah, so we were excited to send both Kate and Evan to nationals last year, and they performed well. I will say especially Kate had a really special day, cracking the top 100, and it's a field of 340 athletes. It was her first season of cross country for Vanguard, and to be able to get to nationals was a huge accomplishment, but to run as well as she did at the national meet was equally as exciting.
And wasn't it not the best of weather, if I remember correct?
It was it's always a little cool up there. Sometimes it can be rainy, windy. It wasn't all that bad. I don't think it was raining the day of the meet.
Just a little wet.
Yeah, so. I think it might have rained the day before, but
it
was fine on race day. Yeah.
Cool. Well, then let's talk a little bit about recruiting. And you've got most of the same men's team. Both teams pretty small, so we'll be able to talk about everybody. Men's team, a lot of returners. Women's team, a lot of newcomers. So let's talk about the men. Who is back?
Yeah, so we've got 7 men this year. 6 are returners and just 1 freshman on the men's side. But we do have a great core. Our top 6, essentially, from last year are back in the mix. And that team ran very, very well, led by Evan Hernandez, obviously.
And hopefully he stays healthy this year.
Yes. And then just a great group of returners. We've got Anthony Kennan, we have Jesse Ocampo, Omar Arroyo, and Cooper Anderson, Josiah Kirby. Probably the one that I've seen the biggest improvement from just over the summer training is Omar. So look out for Omar. He's looking really strong, but everybody else, we're expecting improvement, and it's just going to be a solid nucleus. And Caleb, our lone freshman, he's a gift to our team. We love Caleb, and he's got a bright future ahead of him, and he's just got to be patient, stay the course, get used to racing at the 8K distance, and he's going to do really, really well for us. But yeah, we're excited. The neat thing I see right now is that pack of guys, of returners that I mentioned, are closing the gap on Evan a little bit. Last year, Evan was a good 2 minutes ahead of them in most of our races. That gap is going to be narrowed a lot this year, maybe as little as a minute gap between Evan and everybody else. So that's going to help our team performances as well.
Good. We want to see that, and hopefully some more. He was off to a strong start at the Riverside Invite. I was fun watching the live stats there because they had a bit more of the splits, and he was in the lead for a good chunk of that early phase. So let's hope he gets back into that. On the women, we'll have 3 main returners. Marissa Cole, though from the pictures at picture day, her leg didn't look too great, so we might not be talking about her as much, but then India Moores and Kate Baranski are the main core you got on the women's side.
So yeah, Marissa had knee surgery over summer, so it's more than likely she'll miss the entire cross season, but we'll have her in the mix for track. But she's still going to be with the team. She plays a big role in just the support that she brings to her teammates, and she's got an all-in mentality, and we love having her in the mix. India and Kate are obviously our veterans on the women's side.
And they're calling Kate a veteran after something special too.
Second year in cross, but she is in her 4th year here at Vanguard. So, and both India and Kate are captains for our team this year. Omar is going to be a captain on the men's side. But those ladies are looking awesome right now. They are off to a great start. They train really well over the summer, and I'm expecting big things from those two. They're looking really, really strong.
And hopefully India avoids some health battles.
Yeah, India had health issues last year. She had a fractured foot. She had a lot of setbacks, but she's fully healthy, and She's looking great. Really proud of her.
Then who are the new people?
Yeah, so 6 new freshman gals in the mix. It's one of the best recruiting classes we've maybe ever had on the talent front. But also, I love this group because they've really bonded really quickly. They're just a special class, and they're very close, very tight. They're hard workers, very team-oriented. I couldn't be more happy with this group of 6. So kind of going down the list, we've got Giselle, who right now is looking to be maybe the top of the freshman gals, close behind Madison and Sydney, and then Haley and Emily, and then Caitlin. And I could see at least 3 of those ladies are going to be solidly in our top 5, along with India and Kate. But the other 2 could potentially factor into that top 5 from time to time, because there's going to be some interchangeability there, because they're pretty close, especially from I'd say the 3, 4, 5, 6 position. Those girls could interchange quite a bit during the season.
Always great.
It's good to have that depth. Yep.
Exactly. Different because you're not subbing people in and out like a soccer or something like that, but you still like having a bunch of people that you can trust on to bank you those points.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the season then, and we'll cut a little of this next part for a little Instagram video, because you guys have your first event all of a sudden is now Friday. Folks, they made a quick schedule change on us, and we're able to get in to preview the Pac West Championship course at the Concordia Irvine UCI Combined Invitational. So let's talk a little bit about your first event over at the Great Park in Irvine.
Right. So we've never raced at this venue before. We're excited to check it out. We found out late in the summer that Concordia was going to be co-hosting this meet with UCI to kind of give us a preview for those that wanted to attend and preview the conference course. So we decided, yeah, we need to go. And I talked to our captains, and they said, absolutely, let's go to that meet. So it's going to be a fun course. It's all on the soccer fields there in the Great Park, not the stadium soccer field, but all the adjacent soccer fields. There's kind of 3 loops on this course, 1 big loop around some soccer fields, a medium-sized loop, and then a small loop. And that whole outline is about a 2K. And so the women will race that 2K 3 times. The guys race it 4 times for 6K and 8K. So it's going to be an easy course to follow, a great spectator course. If you guys want to come out and just enjoy, our season debut, we'd love to have a lot of people out there. It's close by, maybe 20-minute drive from Vanguard. So we're expecting some great things. And for me, it's not going to be as much setting our sights on performance times as much as it's going to be, hey, let's get out there, let's race hard, let's maximize our potential on the day, and then let's reassess and kind of see where we're at as a team as we move forward. So it'll be a benchmark for us. Right,
and then it's going to be a warm one, but you are going to be off in the morning, so that will help. Do you know who else is going to be there?
Other than Concordia and UCI, I'm not fully sure who all is going to be there yet. I haven't heard the list of entries, but I would assume there's going to be a handful of Pac West teams that are also wanting to preview the course. At least those are somewhat local in the area. And then I'm sure we'll see a variety of other teams that show up as well. Could be some NAI schools that choose to go. Could be some D1s. We'll find out. Could be some junior colleges as well.
It's the beauty about cross country is even though you guys have changed divisions, who cares? We'll run with whoever we want to run, right?
Right, exactly.
Keeps the community going. Great, so that will be that. So if you can, please go out to the Great Park at Irvine. The men run at 8.
I believe the women go at 8.
Women at 8 and the men at 9. That's
right.
Correct. The Great Park at Irvine, free parking. That's fantastic. And among all the soccer fields, there's concrete paths, so it's really easy to get around. As you said, they can make a couple loops, so you can find a nice spot, hunker down, or you can get up and wander, catch a different couple of turns as they all go by. Make sure you're at the start finish straight, and it will be a great Friday morning, so we hope to see you all there. Now, to continue with the season, again, you changed, you were going to go to the LNMU event, that's off the docket. We got Concordia, and then Biola, speaking of old GZAC opponents. Let's talk through the rest of the schedule as we go on after this Concordia event on Friday.
Yeah, so we have Biola's meet. We've been to their invitational in years past, but it's been a couple years, so we're excited to go back. And they race at Craig Park in Fullerton, so that's not too far away as well. That'll be the following Friday on the 13th. And then we are at UC Riverside's race. And I believe that's the 21st, so the week following Biola. It's on a Saturday. Then we have a little bit of a break, and then we will be going to, I'm sorry, we're going to have our home meet.
Oh, wait, the big one.
The big one, right. And it's so funny because we normally host this meet in early September, but we're early October this year. And partly because we couldn't get our typical course at Irvine Park. It wasn't available in all of September or October. So we're going to be at Mason Regional Park, close by in Irvine. It's actually a little closer than Irvine Park. So we're excited for that new venue. It's going to be fun. It'll be October 4th on a Friday. And right now we have 5 teams coming for sure. And I think there's a good chance we might get 5 or 6 more in the mix between now and then. So hoping to have a good quality meet with 10 teams or more. And then after that, we have a weekend off, and then we're going to be going up to the Bay Area to compete at the Bronco Invite at Santa Clara. So a little road trip. We're excited to get away on just like a 3-day little excursion up to the Bay Area and take in that meet. It's a highly competitive meet, fast course, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And then the week after that is Pac West Championship back at the Great Park on October 26th.
So I actually misspoke. Look at that. That's what, 4 events within Orange County that you can go to, with the Great Park being twice? Look at that. One of the closer seasons you've had in a while.
It really is.
What does success look like for you and your team this season? Yeah,
it's a great question. And I've thought a lot about that over the summer, us being new to, NCAA D2. We're the new kid on the block in a sense. I don't want to put a lot of pressure or expectation on our athletes to place a certain place at Pac West. So my goal this year, and we've communicated this to our athletes, is we're going to do everything we can possibly do to maximize our potential. And we're going to train hard, and we're going to do all the little things in terms of rest and treatment and diet and all those little things that will add up to hopefully maximum performance at the end of the season. Hopefully I will train them correctly. And incidentally, our theme for this year is trust. So we've talked a lot about, let's put a lot of trust in God. Let's put trust in our coaches. Let's put trust in the training, in our captains, and our teammates. And just trust that the journey is going to prepare them to compete well at the end of the season. And again, if our athletes are running to their full potential at Pac West, I really don't care where we place in this first year. I don't care if we're first or last, as long as I can look back and say we reached our full potential. We put it all out there. Everybody was prepared. And they brought it, then we're going to live with whatever that result is, and we'll at least have a benchmark moving forward into year 2. But that's kind of how we're approaching year 1 in D2.
And that's perfect. Now, you were picked 6 on both sides in the Pac West preseason poll. And what else do you think about the conference? There was a little bit of a challenge on one side of the championship last year, but it seemed like everyone's kind of pegged who they think is going to finish first this year.
Yeah, I believe the preseason favorite for the women is Biola, and for the men is Azusa Pacific, who both won last year. It was really close between Biola women and Concordia. And all these they're very strong teams, and we know it's going to be a big step up for us this year. We're excited about that. We're embracing that, and I love the fact we are kind of in the middle of the pack with those preseason rankings. There's 13 women's teams, and for us to be, seeded 6th going in says something about our program. And our men being 6th out of 11 teams. I think those rankings are pretty accurate because I've kind of done my homework on the other teams, and I feel like
again, this guy knows a lot about cross country, not only for Vanguard, but just in the air.
Yeah, I think they're probably very accurate. And so our hope is maybe we exceed those rankings by the end of the season.
Showing up and
There we go. We would love that, and we'll see what happens.
Great. Well, again, you guys will be local for a majority of the season. So if you are watching this before they go out to the Great Park in Irvine Friday, make sure you're there. Make sure you're in Riverside. Make sure you're at the Vanguard Invitational in October, because that's always a lot of fun. We want as many Vanguard fans as possible between those events, especially at the end of the season for the Pac West Championships, because we hope to see them get that 5th spot. Head Coach Bryan Wilkins, thanks so much for joining me here today. Best of luck on the season, and we'll be back again with some other course previews on the way. But until then, have a great run over at the Great Park in Irvine.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin.